Hello everyone, welcome to Geeky Nerd. Today we will begin the sixth part of the aptitude topic averages. We will be seeing few scenarios or applications as an extension of the previous video. Before proceeding further, I hope everyone would have learned and practiced the problems related to the previous videos thoroughly. If you had not seen them, please click on the card or the links in the bio to access them. It is recommended to learn the fundamentals thoroughly and then begin with the sixth part. We will discuss how the fundamentals of average gets used to determine the essential requirements of various applications. Like, share and subscribe the channel for more interesting concepts and shortcut methods for solving problems. Without wasting any time, let's head into the video. This video will be a continuation of the previous two videos and we will further discuss on some of the interesting and new concepts involving averages. So let us go directly into the next concept. So this concept is a derivative or an extension of the previous one. The previous concept what we have learned involves the total number of students, the individual averages of the total number of students, passed students, the failed students, and the motive of that concept was to find the number of students passed or the number of students failed. In that concept, the total number of students or the total number of entities would have been given. Whereas the concept in which we are going to see now, we will be calculating the total number of components. That is, individual number of components would be given and we need to find the total number of components involved in the question. So, if the average of the total components in group is A, where the average of n components is B and the average of remaining components is C, we can find number of remaining components using the formula n of A minus B divided by C minus A. So once the number of remaining components is found, we can easily find out the total number of components by adding the two halves of the components. This concept can also be solved without using formula, that is by following the traditional method. So we assume that the total number of components as n and the first part of the total number of components is assumed as b and the second part of the total number of components is assumed as d. Let the average of the first half of the component or the first part of the component be C and the average of the second part of the component be E. So as we did in the previous concept where we equated the overall marks, here we will equate the overall entities. That is, overall entity is equal to sum of the first part entity plus sum of the second part entity. By solving this equation, we will get the one part of the unknown with which we can compute the total number of quantities or the entities. So, we will discuss some of the problems to understand this concept. The average salary per head of all the workers of an institution is rupees 60. The average salary per head of 12 officers is rupees 400. The average salary per head of the rest is rupees 56. Then the total number of workers in the institution is. So it is very clear that the overall average of workers is equal to rupees 60. This we assume as x and number of workers is equal to n as it is not given in the question. We know that number of officers is equal to 12, I beg your pardon, and average of salary of officer is equal to rupees 400, and we assume number of officers as A and number of other workers we assume it as B, and we don't know the value of B, and average of salary of other workers or non-officers is equal to rupees 56. We need to find the total number of workers working in the institution. We know that total salary of workers is equal to salary of officers plus salary of non-officers. Therefore, total salary of workers, that is number of workers multiplied by average, is equal to number of officers multiplied by average plus number of non-officers multiplied by average. So number of workers we assume as n, which is equivalent to number of officers plus number of other workers. Therefore, A plus B multiplied average is given as 60 is equal to number of officers given directly in the question as 12 multiplied by the average given as 400 plus number of non-officers we don't know, that is B, multiplied by their average, that is 56. So this equation can be simplified as 60 into A is given as 12, so 60 into 12 plus 12B, plus 60B is equal to 4800 plus 56B. Therefore, 720 plus 60B is equal to 4800 plus 56B, which in turn will give 4080 is equal to 4B, which implies B equal to 1020. That is, number of non-officer is equal to 1020. We know that total workers equal to A plus B, which is equal to 12 plus 1020, which is equal to 1032. Therefore, the total number of workers working in the institution will be equal to 1032. So let us move on to the next question. The average salary of the entire staff in an office is rupees 200 per day. The average salary of the officers is rupees 550 and that of non-officers is rupees 120. If the number of officers is 16, find the number of non-officers in the office. So we know that the overall average of staff is equal to rupees 200. It is assumed as X and number of staff is equal to N. Average of officer is equal to rupees 550 and number of officer A is equal to 16 given in the question. Average of non-officer equal to rupees 120 and number of non-officer is not given in the question, hence assumed as B. we need to find the total number of non-officers in the office. So in order to find that, we will use the known concept, that is total salary of office, not officer, is equal to salary of officer plus salary of non-officer. That is number of staff multiplied by average is equal to number of officer multiplied by average plus number of non-officer multiplied by average. We know that number of staff, we assume it as n. N is equal to a plus b. Therefore, a plus b multiplied by the overall average, that is 200, will be equal to number of officers 16 multiplied by its average is equal to 550 plus number of non-officers, we assume it as b, multiplied by 120. Upon solving it, we know a is equal to 16 from the question. Therefore, 3200 plus 200b is equal to 8800 plus 120b. So we multiply 16 by 200 and thus we get this 3200 here. Upon solving, we get 80b is equal to 5600. Therefore, b is equal to 70. Therefore, using this concept, we have found out that the number of non-officers working in the office as 70. In this video, we learned how the basics of averages play an active role in determining the essential requirements of various scenarios. We solve problems via the traditional method for the convenience of the listeners. I insist all the viewers to practice solving more and more problems so that they can increase the speed of solving. Like, share and subscribe the channel. Also convey it to your friends such that they can be benefited. Until we meet in the next video, thank you.